Josh Kelly, welterweight, currently 6-0, fighting for the Commonwealth title. Follow the sport icons.
Okay, so post-fight review for KELL BROOK versus Michael Zerafa, the main event in Sheffield. Now, so many things to pick apart in this fight. Now, for those of you who watched it, you'll understand exactly what it is that I'm getting at here. For those of you who haven't, then I'm going to try and break it down as best for you as I possibly can. Obviously, this was a 12-rounder. This is for the WBA Super Welterweight Final Eliminator. And you know what? Me, like I'm sure a lot of you guys, were picking KELL BROOK to dominate and potentially knock out Michael Zerafa, right? And there's so many things in this fight that kind of made me go, what kind of level is KELL BROOK at? Because if you just look at the resume, both of these guys have 2 losses, but KELL BROOK has losses against 2 elite fighters. Michael Zerafa, not so much. He came into this fight as a severe underdog. This is supposed to be a tune-up fight, a knock off a little bit of ring rust, because KELL BROOK has been pretty inactive, of course. His last time out was against Sergey Rabchenko quite a while ago. And of course, he's looking at KELL BROOK. So were there like a whole bunch of things that made this fight go as long as what it did? As in 12 rounds? I mean, seriously. So there's plenty of questions to ask, and it could be a whole number of them. And I think all of them are rightful questions. Is KELL BROOK not that good anymore? Is KELL BROOK, or was KELL BROOK overlooking Michael Zerafa? Was he looking towards Amir Khan too much? Was it the case of that Amir Khan was, disappointed KELL BROOK by talking about Terence Crawford potentially next and things like that? Is it a case of KELL BROOK maybe shouldn't have left Dominic Ingle and now is with John Fawkes? Is it a case of these guys just, I don't know, maybe John Fawkes didn't have the tactics right and things like that? Or KELL BROOK was just stepping on the scales at 150 rather than going to the 154. Maybe he drained himself a bit too much for this fight. Maybe it's a case of Michael Zerafa is much better and tougher than what maybe we anticipated. Now, Michael Zerafa, he did get lit up like a Christmas tree on a few occasions. He really did. His face was a mess, absolute mess. But the thing is, listen, KELL BROOK won probably every round, all barring potentially round number 9 and, you know what, maybe round 12, okay? But I think that a lot of these rounds were real close. So if anybody was giving any of those rounds, other rounds, a draw or just edge it with Michael Zerafa, I'm not going to argue too much with you. Okay, because I felt that KELL BROOK was getting tagged and hit hard too much in this fight. It really, really was. But Michael Zerafa, he came to fight, and this boy's tough. I can't think of an excuse. I'd love to give excuses for KELL BROOK, I really would. But for me, I think that his mind was elsewhere. That's just my opinion. And he was getting hit with some big, big shots. Now, if Amir Khan was having doubts about potentially beating KELL BROOK, I think watching this fight, he's got to be full of confidence, right? In fact, I'd love to see his response on social media. It's Amir Khan's birthday today, so happy birthday to Amir Khan. But he's got to be looking at that going, yeah, you know what, I can take this out. Even after the fight, you got Eddie Hearn there looking pretty deflated, to be honest, because he expected a very, very good, strong performance from KELL BROOK. As I said, it could be a whole bunch of things. Maybe Michael Zerafa was so much tougher than what we all thought he was. And it's very, very possible. In fact, I'm going to try and lean to that one for my own self-esteem as well, I suppose, because I'm a huge fan of KELL BROOK. But he got hit with some bombs. Well, to be honest, both fighters did. But I felt, though, that, the bits that I could hear from the corner from John Fawkes, it was a case of, bounce on your toes a lot more. I'm thinking, well, that's not really a tactic, is it? You should be doing other things. Okay, he was telling him to use a jab a lot more. That's for sure. But I don't know, I feel that had Dominic Ingle been there, it would have been a different story. But ultimately, who knows? I mean, maybe John Fawkes has breathed new life into KELL BROOK, and KELL BROOK needed this. But I do feel, though, that this was a fight that was worth watching. If you haven't watched it, and if you weren't interested in this fight, please go watch it, because it was very good. But either way, I mean, he gets past this one now. What's going to happen next? Is Amir Khan going to look at this fight and go, well, actually, yeah, you know what? I quite fancy this one. And to be honest, I wouldn't blame him. because I do feel that KELL BROOK should not have gone a distance with this guy, because this guy was there to be hit. And as I said, he got lit up on a few occasions, but also he got lit up himself. Maybe he underestimated the power or just didn't respect the power. I think, though, that if KELL BROOK was looking for a big fight next, there's going to be quite a few champions. Jarrett Hurd, Jamal Charlo at 154. You're looking at a Keith Thurman or Errol Spence rematch and a Sean Porter rematch, etc. We'll be looking at this fight going, yeah, you know what? I wouldn't mind fancy taking that. Maybe KELL BROOK is at the end of his road. Who knows? But for me, I had KELL BROOK winning this fight. I'll probably say 11 rounds to 1. Potentially, you could argue round number 12. But I do feel, though, that he made this a whole lot more difficult. I mean, his shorts were okay, very Christmassy. You know, he's wearing Santa Claus shorts and that. But you know what? As I said, there's a whole multitude of questions that need to be asked. What is it that KELL BROOK done wrong in this fight? Overlooked him? Michael Zerafa was tougher? Was it a case of wrong coach? Maybe changed coaches at the wrong time, or his mind was elsewhere on Amir Khan? There's a whole bunch of things. Either way, I mean, he gets the win. We move on, which is great. So anyway, go give the fight a watch yourself. If you haven't watched it already, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.